If you're looking for a family-friendly museum with something for everybody, then I gotta put you on the Claremont Collections Automotive Museum. Claremont Collection houses over 300 rare and classic automobiles, everything from horseless carriages to modern muscle cars. Chicago's only automotive museum is open Wednesday through Sunday from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. And bonus, they got free parking. They also welcome school field trips. Now's the time to take advantage with 50% off annual memberships in February. Head to ClaremontCollections.com for tickets and get your discounted membership today. A Little Slice of Life is coming to Paramount Theater with the Chicago area premiere of Waitress, February 12th through March 30th. Now, in case you're not familiar with the Tony-nominated musical, here's what you gotta know. Waitress Jenna is on a mission to bake her way out of troubles, but can she find the secret recipe to her life? It's the kind of show that'll melt your heart during these cold winter days. Get your tickets today at ParamountAurora.com or call 630-896-6666. Use promo code CityCast for $5 off up to 4 tickets. Today on CityCast Chicago, with Valentine's Day right around the corner, we wanted to help out and let you know some of the best places to spend it. In our guide to February in Chicago, we talked places to play board games, shoot some pool, even go and sit down and listen to some records. But today, it's all about restaurants, good cocktails, and places to end the night with dessert. So here to tell us some of their favorite picks from The Infatuation, Adrian Kane and John Ringer. It's Wednesday, February 5th. I'm Jacoby Cochran, and this is what Chicago is talking about. Morning, my friends. Adrian, welcome back to the podcast.
Hello. Thanks for having me back.
John, welcome back to the podcast as well.
Hello. Thanks for having us back, Jacoby.
Hey, last time y'all was in the building, we was talking about some of our favorite things we ate last year. John, I have to start here since you always keeping track. We only 1 month through the year so far. How many places you been?
So I've been slacking a little bit. I've only hit up 19 spots. So.
Favorite one so far?
Ooh, that is a great question. Honestly, I just had the burger at Booney's recently, and that is one of my top bites so far.
Okay, I just had the burger at Mott Street for the first time, and that's one of my top ones. So
that's so good.
We on the same burger page. Adrian, we are about a week and a half, a little bit over a week away from Valentine's Day. If someone's thinking about sitting down for a good meal, whether it's brunch, lunch, dinner, is it already too late to make reservations in the city?
No, not at all. I think that there are plenty of places that still have reservations open for Valentine's Day, even though it is on a Friday, which is traditionally a very, very busy dining out. And we know that Valentine's Day is the busiest night to go out to eat all year long. But there are still some options.
The Infatuation has put together places to eat for Valentine's, whether we're talking romantic, some of the toughest place to get a reservation. When you're thinking about spots in the city that lean into Valentine's Day, maybe the spot itself is romantic or they got some specials. What are some spots that come to mind?
Ooh, well, it really does depend on like what you're looking for. A spot that I've been thinking about recently that I actually know is available on February 14th is Bistronomic. I don't know if you know that spot. It's a French restaurant in the Gold Coast. It kind of flies under the radar. And they always have Valentine's Day specials. The food there's quite good. And I think this year they have 3 courses.
3 courses, but a good amount of options for $95 per person, $115 if you want the glass of champagne.
Yeah. And it's just one of those things where it's like, I think a, cute downtown restaurant. Personally, another spot I love to go out to eat for like Valentine's Day. I was just talking about this with John earlier is Buff House, which is a steakhouse, but I like a quieter, cozier spot for Valentine's Day, a spot that doesn't feel like it's trying to lean in too hard, but still has like just a romantic atmosphere. And I love that spot for that.
John, what about you? What are some of your favorites that either lean into Valentine's Day or they just got a good special going on over the next couple of weeks?
As expected, a lot of the buzzier, more well-known spots that are already booked. But I think some places that you can still grab a seat and you have some luck actually getting a res, Like Bronzeville Winery, I just checked this morning, actually has some reservations still open for Valentine's Day, and they're doing basically a chef curated 5-course prefix. They have live music, oysters, champagne. You're getting set
Okay.
up like for a perfect night. If you want to catch some music at the promontory afterwards, they got like a great setup there. Duck Inn in Bridgeport, totally underrated. They, of course, are known for their duck, but they also do a bunch of proteins really well. Like they have an excellent pork belly, and the desserts are pretty good too, and the cocktails as well. So I think like even though most of the buzzier spots might be like totally booked, if you are willing to look, there are still a lot of places that can set you up for success on Valentine's Day.
Hey, so far we got Bistronomic, we got Buff House, we got Duck Inn, we got Bronzeville Winery. If folks were looking for a place that might also come with some good entertainment, maybe some live music, a little bit of a show while they're watching, what's a place on your list, Adrian?
I'm a big fan of Lemon. I don't know if you know that cocktail bar, but they have live music and great drinks.
There's like a fairly new music venue and cocktail bar in Wicker Park called Clara. So they have a bunch of like up and coming jazz acts, some new kind of classical music acts, and kind of like fill in all of the gaps between that. They also have excellent cocktails there. I think if you're looking for something a little more kind of traditional, classic, Andy's Jazz Club is always great. Always sick music. There's a lot of history there. And like the food is actually pretty good. They have full table service. Like you're basically set up dinner and a show good to go over there.
On February 14th, they're going to have Vintage Jazz Ensemble and Morgan Street Jazz at Clara, and over at Lemon Just DC in the front line. I'm going to have a single release and we'll be playing some R&B music. And then also Andy's will be having live music on February 14th if you're interested, but also check out their events calendar. Both of them seem to be having shows in the lead up as well, with Clara having shows the 12th, the 13th, as well as the 15th and the 16th. I know we just talked about a couple of cocktail spots, but what are a few other places you put people on for post dinner?
I love Meadowlark. It's right behind Union, which is like a bar with really great food in Logan Square. Meadowlark.
I went for my first time at the beginning of last month.
Oh, you're always right there with us, Jacoby. So yeah, I love Meadow. I like it, especially in the wintertime. I love a bar that's like right next to the restaurant, but I do like a change of scenery. So there's nothing better than me than having a good dinner and then even just walking a few steps away for a new vibe. And I really love the combo of Union and Meadowlark for that.
They still have their childhood activities for grown-ups composition book volume 1 series. So basically their drinks are named out of things you might remember from childhood: first day of school, recess, pizza party. I think I had the summer camp when I went, and I expected it to be like a lot more packed, but it wasn't. It was like very easy going. I went right before closing, so I maybe got 45 minutes to an hour. The bartenders were very knowledgeable, very nice. Yeah, I had a very good time at Meadowlark. John, what about you? What's a place for a good post-dinner spot?
I have two kind of underrated spots. Well, one is like a 2-for-1 sort of situation. I think Moonflower in Portage Park is a great cocktail bar. And then right below it, if you need a change of scenery, they also have a second kind of like speakeasy-esque location called Nightshade. And Nightshade is fun because they do a little bit more kind of creative and experimental cocktails. Like they have one that's like a shaved ice, take on Korean shaved ice. There's also one that kind of tastes like spicy chips and salsa if you're leaning for a more savory route. But I think Moonflower and Nightshade combo in Portage Park is great. And then I also really love Bouquet in Albany Park. It's like super small, kind of tiny, quiet bar, but they have an excellent cocktail program there as well.
I really also just want to say, especially if like you're more downtown, I like Kamiko in the West Loop. I really like it because you can also get some really good like bites there, some Japanese bites. They have great cocktails. And in case you're like a non-drinker, they also really have a thoughtful spirit-free program there. So the person that you're with can also, have fun drinking if they're not drinking. And I just think that that's kind of a good thing to know if you're looking for a place for after dinner drinks.
Are there any other classic dinner spots that you want to put people on?
Oh, man. I mean, when you say classic, do you just mean like places you kind of forgot that are just lovely? Just a lovely place, you know?
Honestly, I really love that we live in a connotative world and that I say classic and you go, classic to me means always good. You might forget because Chicago's got new offerings every other, right? Best list here. You might forget this is a good spot to go. I like that definition of classic.
I think Bistro Campagna out in Lincoln Square. I mean, it's been around for forever, and it is just a lovely little restaurant with a gorgeous little dining room and courtyard, and it's just always very precious. And I think that, you know, I love to shout that place out whenever I can. They also have restaurant week specials if anyone's interested in that.
Mm-hmm.
Mine is actually a wine bar that's been around since the 90s. It's called Webster's Wine Bar in Logan Square. I think what I really love about it is the food is always on point. They have an excellent burger. They have good rotating pastas and vegetables, and obviously good wine. But I really love it because it's really easy to get in there. When you just need a spot that you can rely on, whether it's for a date, like a small group, or just like solo dining, that spot hits all the time. It might blow up now because of this, but currently it is really easy to get in there. So that's my go-to.
Oh, they got full-on steak frites up in this mug. Ain't just no bar bites. Mussels, oysters, a little lamb tartare. I love that they say we're the granddaddy of Chicago wine bars, and they've been open since 1994. See, this is how we get disrespectful. I get what they trying to do, but like this how we get disrespectful. Talking about granddaddy 1994. Get out! Get out my goddamn face.
Hey, you know, I also teach, and my students think I'm a granddaddy. So
hey, I've been unk for a while. I'm not gonna lie, I've been unk for a while.
Oh my God.
What's up, y'all? I got a couple quick questions for you. Have you ever wanted to learn how to make your own book plate? What about study the history of flamenco? Maybe take a writing workshop? Well, you can explore your curiosity at the Newberry Library by taking an adult education class this winter. The classes are led by experts and they're available online, you know, if you're trying to learn in your pajamas, or in person if you're trying to go out, learn, and meet some new friends potentially. Adult education classes at the Newberry can help you jumpstart or elevate your learning. I got a couple more examples if you ain't convinced yet. You can reinterpret historical photographs of Native Americans, learn about the ins and outs of translation, and so much more about music, history, literature, and art. Adult education has been a tradition at the Newberry since the 1890s, so don't wait. Register now at newberry.org. Just click on Learn and Adult Education Classes to get started. Plus, enter promo code CityCast to get a 10% discount on your class. That's newberry.org, promo code CityCast. All right, so we've talked dinner, we've talked drinks. Let's get a couple dessert spots on our across town Valentine's Day tour for people. Adrian, I have to start with you because that ooh was so authentic.
Well,
Ooh.
you need to know I love desserts. I am the reason we have a guide to where to go for sit down dessert on the site specifically because that is how much I love dessert. And I'm actually thinking just any given day I can think of a spot, but today I'm thinking about Moody Tongue. It's a very, very, like they have one dessert really. It's their German chocolate cake that's about 300 feet high, but it's perfect. It's a really great thing for two people to share. And I also like the space. They're in the South Loop. And it's a great spot to just walk in and like have a couple beers or cocktails and a giant piece of cake.
12-layer German chocolate cake. Oh my God.
It's really good. I have to tell you, it is and this cake has been around for a while. I think, you know, it's not a granddaddy like, you know, our friends at Webster. But it took, you know, I love it. It's really good. I also really like Elska in the West Loop for just desserts. They just have really thoughtful, like fancy little desserts if you want a spot that's like fancy. Because in my head, you know, if you're going out for dessert after Valentine's Day, yes, ice cream cone is fine, but I'm thinking of like a little plated dessert where you can also have a drink, you know, something fun.
John,
So
are you a big desserts person? I'm going to start there. Are you a big desserts person?
No.
I probably asked this question before, but I didn't think it was going to give you a headache.
So you opened up a can of worms because I like to classify myself as not a sweets person, but
Lies.
it seems I talk about sweets enough that that's not really the case.
No, that's a lie. That is a lie. It is a bald-faced lie.
My pick is if you do really like sweets, SKY in Pilsen has a straight up dessert tasting menu. It's like 3 courses. You get like a cheesecake brulee, you get like a spiced cruller donut, and then I can't remember what the third thing is currently, but like
banana burrito.
That is excellent. So I don't really like sweets, but it's good. It's good even for a not sweets
But
guy.
a cheesecake, a banana pudding, you're sold a little bit.
I love how John doesn't like desserts, but he picks the place that has a dessert-focused menu.
A dessert flight. And it also comes, if you want to throw the extra 30 bones on top, it'll come with a drink pairing as well. With each of the 3. So you can get 3 desserts and a drink pairing, which I think does sound like a really nice way to split some desserts with your person.
For sure. You get your nightcap and you get your desserts.
Come on now. All right. If you're trying to do something like a Valentine's Day brunch, either the day of or over the weekend with friends, maybe a little Galentine's Day vibe, what will be y'all picks for a larger group brunch situation?
I think we might have discussed this restaurant on your podcast before, but I think Morisco San Pedro recently started doing brunch. It's in Pilsen. It's a Mexican restaurant.
Yeah, I don't think we've talked about their brunch, so
yeah, and they started doing a brunch. It's, you know, it's as good as the rest of what they do. And I love that place for groups, groups of all sizes, Galentines. What do you call a Broentine? What do you call it when it I don't know, Galentines, Broentines, what do we call
Palantines?
Palantines,
I was like,
whatever.
now we in the West Burbs. I don't know what we doing.
Anyways, that would be my pick for that.
Ooh, a plantain taco with coconut chimichurri. That's interesting.
It is good. And of course, they've got great drinks as well. And then, you know, if you're feeling it, you guys can just hang out there all day, go see a show at Talia Hall, go to Punch House, you know?
Talia Hall does have shows Friday night as well as Saturday and Sunday. And so all weekend long, you can get in there. They're going to have Barn Dance Apocalypse on Saturday. The 20th anniversary tour with Lydia Prasad with Set Yourself on Fire on Friday. Ivor North American tour on Sunday, and then Mariachi Herencia de Mexico on Monday. And so, again, if you're over at Morisco San Pedro, you can pop in at Talia Hall. You can finish off a nightcap at Punch House. We constantly mention it because it's one of our favorite places in the city. John, over to you. What's a good place for either a group brunch or even if it's a small one?
So I think my go-to is Obelix in River North, just because they have so many options. Like for days you can actually get lunch or brunch there. It's like you can go Sunday, you can go Saturday, you can go Monday. If you decide to take the day off with your buddies or your girlfriends, like there is so much accessibility for lunch there. I think that's the move. And it's always so good. They have this really rich like foie gras breakfast sandwich if you want to dig into that, and they also have excellent pastries. So depending on sweet, savory, whatever your brunch leaning is, it's an excellent spot.
I did their happy hour after we talked about it towards the end of last year. Obviously, we're talking about Valentine's Day, so it leans into the idea of coupling people out with their partners. But what if you're somebody who wants to celebrate, but you're going to be doing it alone. You want to show yourself some
yeah.
self-love. What places would you go to dine solo?
Oh, I love going out to eat by myself. And I love the idea of taking yourself out on a date. And I think it depends on your motivation for being out by yourself. But if you just want to take yourself out for a nice meal, have a nice glass of wine, some great pasta, I'm going to tell you to go to Segnatore in Humboldt Park. They've got a beautiful long wooden bar. They've got just fantastic, interesting pastas that are perfect to tuck into for one person. And it's just like a really nice vibe in there. It's very cozy, friendly bartenders. That's where I would send someone. That's if you don't want to be bothered. Now, I don't know if you're looking to get bothered on.
No, if you're not looking to get bothered, pull up to Signatory, get yourself a seafood tower, oysters, shrimp cocktail, go to town by yourself. The Bucatini Carbonara, very good. Very good. And they got a brunch menu if you're also interested in maybe checking them out over the weekend early on.
So I was inspired by one of your earlier comments, actually, and I'm going to pick Mott Street. If you're looking to get real intimate with a nice, juicy burger at the bar, because that is that's the only spot you can do it, that is the move. Like, close off all your distractions. The burger is your only focus right there. That's what's up.
Okay, so we've done solo dates, we've talked brunch, we've talked lunch, but what if somebody is going to be hella cliche and they're going to use Valentine's Day to really get off their proposal or maybe get their promise ring off or say, hey, do you want to go super exclusive, just me, you, and the partners of our choice, whatever the case may be. Maybe somebody's going out for the big romantic gesture. What's a good spot for, maybe go above and beyond hiding a ring and a cupcake or some shit?
Oh, first, I love this because you know what? Embrace the cliche. If you're gonna do it, you're gonna do it. And we respect all. We respect all. And I'm gonna. I
sound like a hater, but no. Do you? Do you? If they want that, do you?
No, we all know. I think for me, right now, I'm telling everyone to go to Tradita if you want a big moment. It has got great food. It has an excellent view. It's an Italian restaurant in the St. Regis, overlooking the river and Navy Pier and the lake. And it's got floor to ceiling windows, and it's just got the white tablecloths and the vibe. And that's exactly where you want to hide a ring and some tiramisu. That's what's happening there.
Oh my God, I'm trying to see when are their next reservations.
If you get creative, you can steal the vibe and go sit in the bar. You know what I mean? So swing through the actual nice restaurant, do your proposal with the view, and then go sit down in the bar.
John, do you have a place that is matching the Tradita vibes?
So I think if you want something not as maximalist, but still very intimate and still very classic romantic, I think you can't go wrong with Boca. It's been around forever. It has an excellent tasting menu, still has kind of the romantic kind of low-key vibes, and it's excellent. Can't go wrong.
Yeah, Boca is in Lincoln Park. I'm just going to see what this black truffle roasted chicken is hitting for. Ooh, that looks so good.
It's really good.
I have never been to Boca. This is one I haven't been to, but I've heard such good things. I know what you mean. They've been around for 20 years, 20 plus years.
Right. And they clearly have their people, the people that love them, and we love them, but when you've got a restaurant city that's just so packed with hot and new, you do kind of occasionally forget about these older spots that are still really bringing it.
You got any other tips on having a successful romantic Valentine's dining experience in particular? John, I'm going to start with you. What would be your tips for people?
Well, I would say plan ahead. If you haven't, be flexible and get creative.
Yeah, that's my thing too, is have a plan A, plan B, and plan C, and kind of figure out the sort of night you want to have and map it out. If you know that you want something more quiet, then don't hang out in the really busy neighborhoods. If you know that you want something where you can hang out and have drinks, plan it out.
We will drop a link to the Infatuations Toolkit in our show notes, where you'll find a playlist of some of their best lists, everything from the best Chicago restaurants for an affordable date, or if you're trying to go for the most expensive tasting menus, they got those ranked for you as well. I want to give a huge shout out to our guests. We bring y'all on a bunch of times every year, not only because we appreciate the work y'all do, but me personally, it's always a great time. Always fun sitting down with y'all. Adrian and John, thank y'all for making time for CityCast Chicago.
Oh, thank you so much. This was a blast.
Always great to be here. Nice to see you.
Before we get out of here, a few things. One, bookmark our website, chicago.citycast.fm. There you can subscribe to our daily newsletter, Hey Chicago, and so much more. Two, some good news. We've got 2 Lunar New Year parades to choose from this weekend. Saturday in Uptown, kicking off at 1 p.m. on Argyle and Sheridan, and Sunday in Chinatown, kicking off also at 1 p.m. on 24th and Wentworth. For more information, check the link in our show notes. 3, we got a whole bunch of more events like this, but also including the Chicago Auto Show, Los Leones at the Copernicus Center, Mimosa Fest, and so much more. Where can you find it? Go back to 1. Yes, chicago.citycast.fm. All right, this is my last thing. We appreciate you for being here. We're going to be here bright and early tomorrow. You got a choice to make. You going to be here too? Well, hopefully, if you can, if it's possible, if you got some time. All right, peace. They've largely got reservations open the rest of this week and the start of next week. But when you start getting towards that 12, 13, 14, it's looking completely out. However, on the 15th, as of right now, by the time you listen to this, maybe no luck. But they got a 5:30 and an 8:30. I'm going to be real with you. I'm probably going to take this 8:30. So.